Phil Ting. I'm running for mayor because I believe our city government needs to work better, and I think city government works best if you all have more say, which is really why we created Reset San Francisco. Reset San Francisco is a community of ideas. It's really it's the idea of trying to get people involved, sharing solutions. My whole campaign is about attacking problems, not about attacking each other. And I think if you look at what we've been putting on the website, just the different ideas, we talked about bike sharing yesterday. We've coined this idea called civic return on investment, because so often the private sector hijacks this idea of, well, you have to make money in order to have a bottom line. Well, I think government has a bottom line too, but government's bottom line is about servicing people. So why don't we evaluate ourselves on how well we're servicing people? Why don't we talk about it? If our job is to make sure we're transporting people, well, are we transporting people on the buses or on bike lanes or through cars or by walking in the safest, most efficient, fastest way possible? I think that's a great way to judge it. It's not just about how much we're spending, because so much time is spent. How much are we spending? Which I think is important. But it's really about, you never hear, is it a good experience, is it a bad experience? Are most people happy with it? Are they unhappy with it? You know, are they getting to work? Are they getting to school? Are they getting back and forth? How is that? And I think it's so important to really think about what you think. Yeah, I think that's what's missing in City Hall. I spend all my time in City Hall in my office, and I see the same 300 to 1,000 people all the time. And I pretty much could role play for you what they think, who they represent, what they do. And it's great. They deserve a voice. They have a voice. What's missing is the other 800,000 people, like many of you, who, if you have to work, you can't show up at a 2 o'clock commission meeting. If you have family to take care of, whether it's your parents or your kids, you know, who can come to a 5 o'clock meeting? One of our ideas around Reset San Francisco was, hey, you can send an email, you can send a letter. Why can't you send a YouTube video to be part of public testimony? Commission should allow YouTube testimony. Why not? Right? I mean, if I can be there, speak for 30 seconds, speak for 2 minutes, why can't I record that at home, email it in, and just like I'm there?
I like that.
Saves me time. If you like it, sign our petition on Reset San Francisco. Another idea is we need to have universal internet access, right? It used to be every home, except for the SROs, right, has a post office box. Every home gets phone service. Well, now I have friends who no longer want phone service, but they would take internet service over a landline. So it's so important that we start to transition. We should have universal internet access. We should use the money that we're saving on not sending postage into subsidizing universal internet access. Right now, a landline's been so important in our lives that the government says, if you can't afford a phone, we'll pay for it. I think we should do the same thing for San Franciscans, because then our government can start sending everything over the internet. At this point, we're still stuck in the old economy, right? Like, the only way I can legally notice somebody is by mail. I cannot send you an email. Even if you say, I will take an email, I have to send you a mail, because that's legally my way to notice you of your property assessment, or that's legally the ways that we can notice you for your property tax. But it doesn't really make sense. And it's also so much more expensive, too. The other thing that we're really trying to do with Reset is really come together, share ideas. We just had a great town hall to talk about reform immunity. We had almost 300 people out at the Hall of Flowers. And what's the best feeling I get is when I walk into a room and I don't know 80% of the people, because they're real people. And we seated them by, I know, what's that? Sorry. We at City Hall talk about other people like real people. Because that's the 300 folks that I see. Yeah, exactly. The non-insiders. But we seated people by bus line. So we had the N. Judah, the El Taravel, the J Church, and it was great. I mean, we had a great discussion. Obviously, there's a lot of strong feelings. A lot of people are angry. A lot of people are upset, rightly so. But we had a great discussion, and I think what's wonderful about Muni right now, we had this point in time where for the first time probably in a quarter century, we actually know many of the problems. They're very well documented. And for the first time, we also know the solutions. But there's really just a lack of will to make it happen, and lack of leadership. Because, you know, one of the ideas is to take bus stops away. Well, taking bus stops is like closing military bases, right? Everyone's for it as long as it's not theirs.
Right.
So, but that's leadership, right? I mean, that's what leadership is about. I mean, if you look at all the great leaders, leaders ask people to give a little so that everyone could benefit. That's what paying taxes are about, right? Paying taxes are about giving a little so that we could all benefit as a society. It's the same thing. And we need to sell it. We need to sell government better. We need to do a better job of providing government and providing services. And I think really that's what the whole idea of Reset is about. Is it's having this honest conversation. It's no more backroom deals. No more just let's make sure the 5 people who the interest groups are okay with it, then we're just going to roll it out. It's really saying, hey, if we could have 5,000 people or 30,000 people having these conversations, wouldn't we have a better product? Wouldn't we have more opinions? Wouldn't we have better ideas? Wouldn't we know how we're really doing? So I mean that's really what we're trying to do. That's what we're trying to accomplish. We're trying to do that today. Everyone talks about what they're going to do in January. We're trying to do that today. So we did our Reform Muni Town Hall, had folks from the MTA, talk to people, share ideas, dialogue. We're doing that today. We're not waiting until January. So I mean that's what we want to do for the next 70 days is to make sure that we're working on issues right now. So let me just stop there.